So we'll see what Tongfu do with the Earthshaker Lina, which to me is maybe the opener that should have been what EHOME went for last game. They went for the Wyvern Lina. I think that would have actually been the only way their draft could have been even better, was having something like an Earthshaker instead of the Winter Wyvern. But
And to be fair, Tongfu picked the Storm into the Anti-Mage, so it's not like EHOME completely outmaneuvered them. It was more Tongfu had confidence that they could take the AM with the Storm, and it turned out to be the case. So maybe they knew something about EHOME we didn't.
AM still in the pool, LD. We weren't entertained once.
I mean, I would love to see. I would love to see EHOME just grab a Storm, Tongfu take the Anti-Mage, and then they beat them with the AM this time.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the old salt in the wound there, really rub it in good.
Well, Storm's still available. I feel like it's definitely a top candidate for EHOME's mid selection. Potentially Tongfu if they want to run like a Lina support Earthshaker offlane, but EHOME will snag it up first.
Come on, Tongfu, Anti-Mage is there. Do it.
I mean, as far as carry options go,
And Phantom Lancer banned out.
Gyro as well.
Yes! It's happening!
They're going to teach...
It's happening!
CTY will show you how you do it.
Oh, if they would...
They've swapped drafts in a lot of ways here,
I mean, the Tusk is in the game is the one difference, but...
Yep.
The one big difference, anyway. God, I would... I'm not rooting for either team, but just for the sheer, poetic justice, I would love to see Tongfu just take the other side of the draft and then win.
So we'll see what EHOME look to respond with here. Tusk is pretty good against AM. You've got, especially in the mid game, you have some pick-off potential because you can blink Walrus Punch, follow up with a Snowball. You've got a decent duration of lockdown. Rubik, similarly, you can still blink easily. And then you've got blink telekinesis to play around with. So you've got good lockdown. The question is always going to be, where's the damage coming from? And right now, it's somewhat limited as far as damage output goes. So they really need I feel like a pretty physical damage focused carry, like a Clinks type hero comes to mind, although not maybe it's a pretty good Clinks game.
I mean, TA is the other big one, but she's banned.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Tusk also coming.
Shadow Fiend is okay, but you're up against the Lina here.
Yep.
We've seen what she can do in the mid lane.
I could see Brood also being a good pick if they want to run Tusk as a support. I'm not sure if that's a hero that 11 plays in the offlane, but it'd be a good time to pull out a Brood. Can give you some actual right click and it pressures the lane so much. It can really slow down the anti-mage's farm if you're EHOME. It's just a question of whether that's in 11's hero pool. In the past he played support. He is playing offlane for this EHOME team, so there isn't much footage outside of the best of 3 they played yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of these teams from China just kind of emerging from their post-TI5 slumber now. This is the first big event, I guess, along with ESL, where the qualifiers have just gotten started. And EHOME are going to mix things up here, guys. They go into a silencer, so they're looking for a little bit of a safer entry for the Storm in these team fights.
Yeah, can definitely protect his initiation when he goes in for a little while. It's particularly good against the Lina Earthshaker, and I mean even Dazzle prevents the Grave. If you want to all in to kill the Lina, you don't have to worry about the Grave deterring that, but does leave their last pick very open as far as what they want to go for. Bloodseeker, there's a carry, direct counter to the Anti-Mage, although to me I don't know how amazing of a pick it'd be. It's hard for him to just... he can pressure the Anti-Mage when he's alone and farming, but you've got Earthshaker who can just counter shit with a Fissure. Lina who blows up Bloodseeker in no time whatsoever, so... to me, it's definitely a problem hero for Anti-Mage, but it's not a problem hero for the Tongfu draft overall. But it does protect their AM pick, which is going to be the kind of key hero for Tongfu.
Tongfu's turn to pick.
Definitely annoying to play against that Rupture, as the Anti-Mage blink range... not long enough to avoid the Rupture damage. Unlike his counterpart, the Queen of Pain. Tongfu, last pick now. I guess the only real question is this support shaker perchance, or an offlane shaker perchance, or is it just going to be that support shaker helping out the Lina mid?
An offlane shaker can do nothing whatsoever to slow down AM farm, but it's like, what offlaners can you actually pick that do? And Clockwork's on the pool, not great at contested lane. Spirit Breaker is one of the better ones to actually come up and trade hits a little with AM, although Dazzle can kind of scare you off, so it's... Oh, sorry, the Earthshaker's on Tongfu's side. What am I talking about? I'm getting confused here.
I'm saying, do they want to maybe run him as a support instead of an offlaner? Yeah,
so Tongfu could pick... I think Clockwork's not bad here. They can try and hook the Silencer to start the fight. And also an okay hero to at least... you guaranteed experience by using the cogs as your lane comes out. So alternatively, you may get more firepower and more laning control if you run Earthshaker offline and get like another strong support for zoning people out.
Tongfu, final pick.
I think ES being able to roam can put a lot of pressure on mid, and that's where I kind of lean towards a Clockwork last pick.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else suitable for the offlane. Could they run a Broodmother?
It's possible, yeah. Why not? There's no good way of dealing with them. I guess EHOME have their last pick, but they need a carry. They need damage from something, and can kind of limit EHOME's options.
So if you had to choose between the Clock or the Brood, what are you going for here?
Assuming you have like an amazing Brood player,
Let's say you have a very good Brood player.
I still might slightly lean towards the Clockwork.
All right. Well,
Earthshaker
exactly
offline.
like we were discussing, Gods.
Yeah.
They want the Treant Protector. Excellent call.
Yeah.
You really nailed it there.
You knew this year
I
was still in
seconded
Dota
you on
2.
that one, so I'm feeling very good about our draft predictions here.
They've been watching PPD's Treant Guide and forgot that it was for the
It's a
old
little
patch.
outdated.
Yeah.
A little outdated at this point.
I mean, EHOME have no push power whatsoever with their opening picks, and Treant's going to mean they're even less likely to
10
push
seconds
towers.
remaining.
Yeah, that is an issue here, and they need the carry, like you mentioned. Luna is a bit of a pushing carry. We saw that hero earlier today. Anyone else that jumps out at you as someone who can threaten towers?
And Luna's good because it also gives them some actual much needed damage output, physical damage as well as like a teamfight ultimate that does a lot of damage. So I feel like it's definitely one of the better picks you can go for. If they want to try and fight like super late game, they could try and squeeze in a
10
Spectre,
seconds
but
remaining.
I feel like Spectre doesn't deal well enough with the AM split push. Even though
5
you can
seconds
defend it and then
remaining.
haunt in, I don't feel like that's enough. AM
This gives you
actually-
so many long cooldowns as well.
Okay, Jug comes out.
So it is a pushing carry of sorts.
Yeah.
Does dish quite a bit of physical damage if the game goes later. Is a natural Abyssal Blade carrier, though CTY seems slightly allergic to the item, I have to say.
And with like a global silence Omni Slash, AM can't just blink escape, so it'd be a nice way of trying to get some kills on him on the early game.
All comes down to that Manta style. And they do have the Grave. That's the one thing. Tongfu have a lot of defensive abilities here.
Yeah.
Fissure. You've got the Nature's guys, the Living Armor, Grave, the Heal.
And that's where I feel like the global silence is the key spell for EHOME, because when they initiate, they need to make sure that counter initiate of a Grave or a Fissure doesn't happen.
Now, draft is complete, Gods. Tongfu leading 1-0.
10
Who's your?
seconds remaining.
Well, I'm gonna ask you whose draft do you favor? Because I agree with
5
your
seconds remaining.
your evaluation of the draft last game. So you don't have to say they're gonna win, but whose draft do you like better?
I like Tongfu's better until the last pick tree, and I think it's pretty even here. I don't really heavily favor either team. I think
Prepare for
execution
battle.
is going to be much more important here. How the Silencer Global is used, and Tongfu kind of getting up some, like if they can get some key items to deal with the Global Silence, like farm up eventual BKB on Lina, and even heroes like, I mean, your Earthshaker wants some way of getting rid of the Silence so he can instantly counter initiate. So whether that be a Lotus Orb or a Yule Scepter, I feel like both teams have ways of very much kind of taking control of at various stages of this game.
All
No,
right.
no draft winner, at least as far as I can tell.
Let's see how the teams. Well, then obviously Tongfu's going to win this one. So if it's an even draft after last game, then no, we'll see. Let's see if EHOME can recover. Still feels like this is a team with a lot of potential, but obviously that's a frustrating way to drop your first match. On the side of Tongfu, we've got Sin-Q playing the
30
anti-mage.
seconds
Faith
to
will be on the Dazzle. It's LPC on the Treant Protector, so he switches into that support role, it looks like. And U9 handles the Lina. It will be Zex Bingo on the Earthshaker.
Okay.
And as for eHome, you've got an off-lane Tusk to be handled by 11, Lanham on the Silencer, CTY looking for redemption here. We'll be playing the Juggernaut, Old Chicken, the Storm, and that does leave Kaka as the Rubik.
The battle
So
begins.
fairly standard lanes it looks like from both teams. Nothing too surprising happening there, and yeah, we'll see both offlaners being left alone for now. Earthshaker especially should be fine because he can use the Fissure to get the lane under his tower, and we'll probably see the Ice Shards from the Tusk used to pull the lane to his tower. So
I'm curious to see if that's something that Valve considers changing in the new patch, because there's only a very few select heroes that can do this.
yeah.
It feels like automatically they're the best offlaners or the best supports to secure your offlane.
I don't know. I wonder what they're yeah, because there's so many offlanes just instantly taken out of consideration.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tusk, Clockwork, Earthshaker. Like, these are the three that
Yeah.
could just instantly pull the creep wave back, get a free level 2, essentially.
Well, mid lane, they go in an old chicken with a leech seed. This could be an early first blood.
Oh, a roaming tree on Protector gets the job done.
Boots first and everything. There's one leech seed. He's got a clarity, so he'll have a second to.
PPD would be happy.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
sometimes he plays that slightly more selfless tree on Protector.
and that's just where the block really wins Unai in this mid lane. He has on the high ground. There was a Radiant high ground ward on the other side of the river, but you don't see that treant come in from the north but until it's too late.
No, he doesn't have a Leech Seed available here. I'll just punch 11 a couple of times. And Heal Bomb comes out. If he had the mana for a Leech Seed, may have been able to go there for a kill.
He had the clarity, but it looks like he wants to hold on to it and wait for the mana regen to get him up to a leech seed, which he should probably have by the time he hits like level 2-ish.
So early on, we're seeing Anti-Mage free farming, Juggernaut free farming, so pretty much an even trade there.
And Earthshaker's going to get completely zoned up bottom, it looks like. He's got a double range creep pushing on his lane. Rubik's got the pool camp available. So at this point, getting beyond level 2 could be quite tricky for Earthshaker. May have to start fissure blocking more waves. Does have a bottle from that first creep wave and can look to grab runes and maybe get some XP that way if he finds some bounties. It will be a tough offlane for Earthshaker.
CTY doing a bit of auto-attacking, but now the pull coming through from the Rubik. Didn't get the best pull there, so actually looks like the Shaker will get a little bit.
Mess that one up somewhat, but Rubik wanted to make sure he got to the 2-minute rune in time, knowing Earthshaker had a bottle, finds a haste rune, and we'll be looking to put some pressure onto Bingo if he's not careful.
We're seeing Lina getting a slight edge here mid, but neither player farming particularly well early on. So much pressure. Curse the Silent comes out. LPC just going to armor himself up. The Sentry battle commences, but it's an easy win for Tongfu.
Yeah. So
Look at that Observer.
they deward it, and that'll easily heal up the treant who... So look to just roam around. He can also stack between these rotations, which he's going to do for the second time now. So LPC's kind of been very impactful already, just rotating between that jungle stack as well as the mid lane. And Lina, one of the better heroes for farming up the jungle stack.
Lanham is doing the same thing. He's created a triple and a double.
Okay.
5 total stacks there to work with. A lot of additional creeps to be grabbed by your Storm Spirit, and Old Chicken may need that little bit of extra help after the rough start he's had mid.
Tusk has gotten a decent amount out of this Radiant offlane, it feels like. He's going to hit level 3 soon, and for the most part, they're just happy to get a bit of extra farm and levels on the supports and not really contest him as much. I mean, Treant's not really been in the top lane apart from that one little stint, and Dazzle has been more focused on maybe farming a pull or two rather than completely zoning out Tusk.
ZQ wrapping around. Snowball's coming through. He's going to blink back and drag that Tusk way out of position. And Tree's also
here
moving
too,
into position. This is a lot of trouble for 11. Faith just looking for the body blocks. Let's ZQ give him a little slap on the butt. Blinks forward. Going to run the other direction. The heal comes out. Face is suddenly the one trapped in. Beautiful catch by 11. Gets the kill. Probably going down for this, but at least a little sweet revenge for him. Takes one on the way out. Meanwhile, Zex Bingo trapped in the river. Doesn't look like he'll get anything out of this. Kaka just invis and blocking. There's a living armor available, though, and that is going to make the difference. Lets him get out safely. And meanwhile, mid lane, U9, a solo kill on the Storm. There's action all over the map.
Pre-level 6.
That does not bode well for the Storm once Lina gets level 6.
And that's where that high ground ward, I imagine, was kind of what maybe led to a LSA hitting on the high ground on Storm unexpectedly. So that ward battle ends up being quite important for Tongfu.
And Lina has the boots advantage now, so this is very dangerous for the Storm.
And will be level 6 well before the Storm is, so we'll see Storm get the deny and the siege creep, which will slow it down at least 1 or 2 more creeps. So this Storm could quickly find himself in trouble now that Lina's level 6. Storm just has to jungle this level 6, so I think you start taking these stack camps. As much as like Storm isn't... Like Storm can jungle, it's not the most efficient thing to do. He's going to preemptively tango because he takes a lot of damage to do this, but he needs to hit level 6 without giving another kill to Lina.
Old Chicken thanking the gods that he does have the 6 armor, so he doesn't drop too low off the bat. Deploying a couple of remnants here, and we'll mostly clear out that triple stack already. So that will get him close to the level 6. Needs one more round of creeps, it looks like, before he'll have it.
Double mud golems, no fun.
Not the dream.
Nope. I'll still go for it. At this point, I kind of agree. He's got no boots, and he's against Lina with boots and Laguna Blade. Looks like Lina tried to go on Lamb, knowing that... Probably realizes Storm's trying to jungle level 6 and that Lanham's alone here, so would love to find a kill with like a Dragon Slave Laguna Blade. You don't even have to hit the stun with how squishy this silencer is. And they do have a high ground ward too.
As for the two offlaners, seems even so far. Both level 4. I guess the main difference, the Tusk did get the kill, whereas the Earthshaker has not been so blessed.
Yeah, Storm managed to barely scrape together a level 6. Leave some very low HP Mud Golems behind, but wanted to just make sure that level 6 was acquired. And
It's still a win for the Lina, though, because now she's level 7
yeah.
and has a lot more farm.
it's like the play you have to make as a Storm, but it's not a good position to be in. Whereas Tongfu are much better off right now.
Cut the chatter, Xin Q. Not sure what he's saying here, actually. But something worth an all chat, apparently.
You know, we didn't get enough all chat out of the NA qualifier, so I'm glad it's come to China as well. Maybe he was watching C9 versus Digital Chaos and was like, okay,
I can
the
get in on
fans
this.
like this, yeah. Let's bring some
little smack talk, just brighten up your morning.
bring some NA Dota to China.
Oh, they're gonna ball in now, engaging onto U9, but Shaker's in position. Fisher comes through, connects on 11, who snowballs in. Curse of the Silent coming through as well, but doesn't have an uppercut. That will be an easy takedown for U9. No, Chicken's gone in again. He's in quite deep. Juggernaut arrives, though. Great rotation from CTY. Gets the crit. Going in with the Blade Fury. The bottle charge not quite sufficient. Zex Bingo in desperate straits. No, CTY, not again. He's dove in too far. He's punished mercilessly. The dives have been his undoing. I suppose in good news, at least he blew the Mana Void, Xingqiu, on the jug, else they may lose their stall. Actually, they may lose the storm anyway. Old Chicken needs the help of Kaka here. ASAP gets the lift off, dragging him back a little bit. Now it's Xingqiu out of mana, also in danger. The heal comes out from Faith, doesn't have mana for the grave, and Xingqiu may also go down. Body blocked, and almost dead to about 15 HP. The bottle save bailout. A series of dives and miscues and unfortunate events. And when the dust settles, a 2-for-1. Anti-Mage barely surviving. Juggernaut, not so lucky.
And that Jug dive, one of the things, I mean, Earthshaker, I don't think he realized right away, you can actually bottle through the Blade Fury damage because it's just level 1. I'm not sure if that's whether that's level 2 is the same or not, but level 1 Blade Fury, he was bottling and getting the constant regen. It wasn't cancelling the bottle charges, which meant that CTY's dive, he wasn't even, I mean, he shouldn't have even been close to killing the Earthshaker.
He's going for that 6.83 build, but remember, in 6.84, Blade Fury was majorly rebalances. Uh-oh. U9. I guess he got tossed up there by the Rubik, perhaps, or... Not sure how he ended up on the cliff. Either that or like a shards pushed him up, maybe. Anyway, he's dead. But yeah, the Blade Fury level 1, it's got an incredibly long cooldown. The mana cost is... It used to be, what was it, 90 at all levels, I think? Or maybe
It was 110
110
for a
at all
while,
levels.
yeah.
But level 1 was much more value because the cooldown was much better. Now it's 42 seconds, so you really pay.
I think there's still some merit in going this build. Ooh, nice little kill there from Tusk. He's in pretty deep here, though.
Bingo gives him the enchant totem. Fairly durable on the Tusk, though. Has the Salp, has the phase boots. Moving into position, does block the Treant Protector out. No Echo Slam just yet, unfortunately. Does have an anti-mage supporting, and well, Lina wastes no time in zapping him. That will secure the kill for the Earthshaker. Now for 1,000 gold. Yeah, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad build, but it definitely is more of a trade-off. Like at 6.83, it's like you always just get the one value point in each ability, and then either max your crit or just take stats from there. But
I was about to say, not having any points in healing ward is definitely fairly unconventional. But he goes back, gets at least the 1 point, and may see him look to max out the crit from here. And at this point, he's skipped Blade Fury for so long, he's just going to remain on this one less value point than it used to be. Point in Blade Fury for probably most of the game.
Well, yeah, at this point you don't start going back for it.
No, he's committed to this build, which means he shouldn't be looking to roam and do what he did mid. Like, that's the kind of play you make if you're playing like your max Blade Fury jug. When you're going this build, you're looking to be that, just farm your lane, pressure your tower, and maybe go to fights for an Omni Slash, and then as soon as you use Omni Slash, you use Blade Fury to just back off and go farm some more. But pretty even opener. Tongfu slightly favored here. Lina, top of the net worth chart, Anti-Mage. on par with Jug for farm, which is good considering the Battle Fury doesn't come online for another 3 or 4 minutes. So all in all, I'd say Tongfu kind of in the position they'd like to be in based on their draft and lineup.
I'm curious to see what they'll make happen with this global silence. Now that it's finally online, Silencer just now cracking level 6. Looks like we'll see.
Oof, this Storm is really far behind.
Yeah, I just clicked
Oh,
on him.
gosh.
I'm like, oh wait, I clicked on a Storm. I see Gloves of Haste. I'm thinking like, is someone getting a Midas? Oh wait, that's Storm. He's got issues.
I saw that net, looked up at the net worth, and I'm like, oh, old chicken, you're struggling here. Oof. And this Earthshaker looks like he might have a decent timing on his Blink Dagger. Bingo is on par with Storm for farm, so.
For those joining us, guys, it is actually Tongfu leading 1-0. Don't let the scoreboard fool you. Don't let the frog's sneaky tricks throw you off. The scoreboard is a lie, as it has been all broadcast. Actually, one game it was randomly correct. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see now what the global silence accomplishes for EHOME. They get the big ultimate online. They have a smoke available on the Tusk, and looks like they may look to engage on the top side of the map. Kaka also just peeking through level 6. They're not bringing in their Juggernaut, though. CTY off in the woods. Just jungling as quickly as possible with that Mask of Madness. They're waiting for the opening here. They want to TP on an extra hero, and that will be the Juggernaut. Snowballing their way forward. Uppercut comes through, and he does not get the blink off in time. They hang on to the global.
That's
Lanham doing the math there, and just barely enough damage.
knowing they didn't need to global is a really nice little play deck. Just frees them up to continue pushing. If you use global for that kill, Tongfu's probably like, okay, let's just group up and make sure we defend the top tower, keep farming a bit elsewhere when Antimate respawns, but global still online really gives EHOME a lot of freedom to keep pressuring lanes, and it is going to be Juggernaut getting involved with the team, so still on this 1-1-1 with stats build. He loves the stats builds. He did it on the AM, he's doing it here on the Jug, but for now it's paying off pretty well for him and what he can do with this team. He is nice and tanky, has a pretty big mana pool to work around, and he needs to create space for Storm, who's really suffering.
And old chicken is not having a good time of it. 1,500 gold down on the Lina, who just purchased a Yule Scepter, so ready to start finding those easy kills. By the way, didn't mention it, but Kaka managed to steal the blink of the Anti-Mage during that, and it is a max level blink, so look to use this to initiate. They've got a ward top. Scouting out when Xingqiu rotates into the jungle, and they are going to engage. Omni Slash coming through onto U9, but the Yule Scepter perhaps enough to disengage. Needs that extra auto type. Blade Fury coming through. There's the heal. Silence comes out, prevents the grave. Faith could have gotten it off, but just hesitated for a split second there.
Went for the heal first, yeah. It's hard to know. Like, you want to go for the heal and then the insta-grave afterwards if it's needed, and Global Silence comes in, and M is...
Oh, gotta say, CTY, he's definitely putting a lot more pressure on the opposing team this game.
Yeah, I really like the way he's played this Jug so far. I mean, skill build
sure, he
aside,
overextended once, and, you know, everyone's going to flame him for it, but like you said, he is creating that much-needed space for the Storm.
Yeah, I think the team realized the Storm was struggling. That's why he came mid and looked to make a play like that, because they needed to help the Storm out in any way possible to catch up, so... Xingqiu slowly get back on track for the Battle Fury, but has started to fall behind with just the Claymore coming out now, one piece away, just the Broadsword remains, but will be maybe a 15-minute Battle Fury if he doesn't get ganked again, which may be the call for EHOME.
Xingqiu getting scouted here by the shards as Rubik. Oh, he's upgraded. Traded out the level 4 Blink for the level 2 Fissure. We are seeing that that build that Chrissy was favoring from Zex Bingo. Oh, top lane, initiation. Lina finds the stun, just a blind one, it looks like. Didn't even have the Yule set up.
That's very handy. That gives, I mean, Tusk is one of the key heroes for actually ganking and killing AM, unless they have a global site, like they kill him with the snowball follow-up from a telekinesis. So with Tusk dead, AM can freely farm his jungle, also gives him a big boost of gold towards the Battle Fury, so that's a very crucial kill for Tongfu to find. Not that they desperately needed it, but it does really help them out a lot.
Xingqiu, Battle Fury, finally within striking distance, but already CTY picks up the Blade of Alacrity. We see another rotation on mid. They are going to have a global available soon. What are you thinking here? Straight Sanjay Yasha for CTY?
Yep, it's
Gets the Yasha
gonna
now.
be I mean, I guess that or Manta, and you only normally want to go for a Manta build if you're against lots of silences for like a Queen of Pain Orchid, Silencer himself.
Oh,
So-
gods. They actually have a ward that gives them sliver of vision mid, but they smoked and they were outside of it. So Fate doesn't know this is coming. CTY gonna rush in, but he does break the smoke. Fissure connects. They snowball. They're committing. Faith with the quick reaction to Grave. Nice job there. Like an old West duel. And now Earthshaker jumps in, but he doesn't get off the global silence. Just destroyed by CTY's Omni Slash of Doom. Finding the double kill for the team. Lena looking for the turnaround, missing the stun though. U9. They get trapped out by those shards, and now it's Hack-a-Slash time. Chop! And down. 3 have fallen. And they may lose a 4th if they're not careful. The tree. And a little bit farther than he would like.
I think once your Dazzle gets gone on there, you just give up that fight, because you don't want to take that fight with an Anti-Mage on your side. It's a Dazzle and a tier 1, the most important tier 1 you've got, but your AM's getting farm elsewhere on the map. He can split push. He can force them back. So just losing a Dazzle in the tier 1 mid would have been far better result than what ended up happening. It was always going to be a low percentage play to go in there with Earthshaker because you're against Global Silence. So because they have Global Silence, if you get initiated and are down in a 4v5 scenario, you never choose to fight if they've still got Global.
It shouldn't surprise anyone, but Lanham has just been a game changer on the Silencer, showing that you give him a playmaking support and he will make things happen for the team. Trying to steal some Ancients now. CTY just chopping away, and now the Fissure that was stolen used to set up on Faith before he can even drop down from the Rubik lift. He's already dead, and they'll continue trying to steal these neutrals, but
These Fissure plays have been also really important. That was what led things up on the Dazzle with that long-range initiation, and now for a second time on the Dazzle.
I mean, the fact that we literally haven't seen Storm in a fight for like 10 minutes now, including the pauses, is
That's good news for EHOME.
so good for EHOME.
Yeah. Typically, you're like, this is like the stage of the game where Storm should at least be maybe ganking with his team while he farms, but with the start he had, he just wants to farm.
He's a little bit poor still, though.
Yeah. He's, I guess, on par with the Lena, but Lena's also poor, considering the stage of the game we're at. Lena dying a couple times recently.
Anti-Mage. Oh, he tried for the TP out. He gets silenced. Walrus Punch. And Zinq will go down. Didn't even have the global there.
Up to 12 stolen intel as well. That's the other thing to kind of always keep in,
Oh, yeah.
keep in mind with the
glaives
silencer.
the glaives are also pure damage, so something that could help pierce that spell shield a little bit. Relieves the split push now. A Shaker has finally picked up the Blink Dagger. We saw him try to waddle in last fight, gods, and that silence really messed him up.
Yeah, and this is where you can at least get an Echo Slam off. You maybe don't get your Fissure off if the silence is fast, but the Blink Dagger just gives you that ability to maneuver so much more. And you can maybe wait out the global silence from the backlines and still get into a fight. But if you're waddling in, it's so easy to hit a good silence off. Oh, tried to invis him. No, gotta stand by them trees, Bingo.
Can they fight this?
Oh, we're about to
They're
find
fighting
out.
into global. Oh, the Blink Dagger. Did they scout it?
I think so. He went invis afterwards. He actually tried to invis him behind the tier 2, but for whatever, I think the starting point wasn't close enough to the trees, so as a result, this doesn't look like
But
it's
they're
gonna
still
work.
pushing, and they're a little grouped up.
They're pushing with just Juggernaut hitting the tower, so I think they know the Earthshaker blinks there, and they're just very wary of it with their positioning.
CTY add another tower to this guy's collection of big objectives.
Yep.
Sitting 2, 1, and 4. I think that's 3 towers to his name. At least 2.
Sitting pretty with the SMY and 1200 gold, so already starting to scale well into the late game.
And this is where Zinq just needs to buckle down, basically, and not die.
Yeah.
It's going to be important.
Roche going on, but to me, this is one of those Roches which, yeah, you've got a Blink Earthshaker, you still cannot contest. Your opponents have the vision advantage, and if they know the Blink's coming, they're always going to be split up. It's just CTY in the pit. The Weave actually misses as well, so it gives some scouting information, but it doesn't hit CTY.
Maybe if they catch Lanham. He was in the pit earlier,
Yeah.
but now
they
he's kind of
can
backing off.
Get the jump on him, it works, but if not, no chance. And they actually, yeah, they just give up Roshan. I think that's the right call. The call EHOME should have made last game, perhaps.
Oh, too soon, gods. Too soon. We'll grab the Aegis here for the Storm Spirit, and now he has officially eclipsed the Lina. Last game we saw a Lina that had a much better start, but eventually spiraled into irrelevancy, it felt like, by the end of the game. Could the same thing be happening again here? Look at CTY just marching in mid, not afraid of anything.
This is where the Treant pick doesn't really offer you much, because you fall behind like this, the hero can't really defend. You can maybe look for some sneaky invis initiations, but like at some point, EHOME is just going to get a gem.
Blink, Echo, it's just on Lana, but the fissure will connect on 2. Backing its way off onto Kaka, who now steals the fissure. Can throw it back the other way, that connects on 2, and all just like that, 4 are down. There was a jump back from the Storm, deep behind enemy lines while the rest of the fight broke out.
They just all
They
in
got the global
there,
off there, and then Rubik steals fissure, and the fight just falls apart.
I feel like even if they don't get the global off there, I don't know if it's any different. Maybe a 3-for-1 instead of a 4-for-1, for example, but I don't actually think getting the global off versus not getting the global off was it really the difference maker. And that's where I feel Tongfu were making the wrong play trying to go for that fight. You throw everything to kill a silencer, he doesn't get global off, you're still all dead because Storm is actually here ready to fight now. Juggernaut's a monster with Omni Slash. That's not a fight you're going to win if you're blowing everything on a silencer. So, I mean, Tongfu are so far behind at this point, they kind of, I think they felt like they had to make a play of some kind.
Fissure comes out, covering the path of retreat. Anti-mage maybe going to try to start split pushing a little, but
a bit late for the creep skipping play, unfortunately.
Has completed the Vlads, but you just look at the net worth chart and it tells an ugly tale. A full 5-digit advantage and rising now for EHOME.
Yeah. I think a more composed team there would have just said, okay, let's give up this tier 2 mid, and if they keep pushing, we fissure block the high ground, we spam out with Dragon Slave, and Anti-Mage proceeds to creep skip the mid lane. But they just got a bit antsy. I think they are under a lot of pressure here to just hold on to lanes of Rax against a team with Aegis that wants to push and get a lane of Rax, but
by the way, CTY is 4.5k gold.
That's scary. Probably Skadi comes out next in classic 6.83 style, but other possibilities would be like a BKB if he wants to just be able to man fight and hit buildings without worrying about Lina combos and stuff. And you can do that with Blade Fury to some extent as well, though.
Yeah, and there's eventually going to be an egg, so I don't know if you... I like the Scotty idea. Or you could just YOLO and get a fast MKB or Abyssal Blade, but that seems a little risky.
It doesn't feel like Jug's item build has changed much since 6.83, despite the heroes nerfs and some of the item
They're
nerfs.
looking for the jump. Both teams smoked. EHOME rushing forward, ever so close to breaking. As all kinds of weird visual glitches are happening. They have found Zinq. He's alone in the jungle. The backup's coming in. Fissure comes out. Global's there, though. CTY engaging with the Omni Slash. It's not splashing at all to other heroes, but they do get off the grave. Now jumping away. CTY runs him down with a Blade of Fury. Will finish him off. Now chasing onto LPC. They've lost their anti-mage. They're about to lose the Lina, too. And Lina, down for the count. 3 more have fallen.
Game 3,
honestly,
here we go.
it honestly feels like they may just call it.
Yeah, I mean, they still got tier 2s on their side lane, so they're not... I mean, they may get a lane of Rax anyways, because they can get the tier 2 and high ground, but...
I don't know, Butterfly. But he's got the Butterfly.
Oof. Okay, Butterfly and the
Oh, no.
Blink.
Oh, no,
He's got a
sorry.
Blink,
He
yeah.
gets the Eagle Horn and a Blink.
Yeah.
And then he'll go into the
Blink, very nice. He's actually got blocked that fight. The fissure blocked him off, so he couldn't get any right clicks on the AM during the fissure plus snowball. So that kind of hurt him a little bit. Not that it mattered by any means, but the Blink can actually help follow up a Storm Initiation, follow up a Rubik or a Tusk.
You know, I still go back to the draft, and we were discussing 2 main heroes, Broodmother or Clockwork Gods, and I still feel like either would have been much better here for Tongfu than that last pick tree.
I think Clockwork's a good hero because you can hookshot the silencer and maybe force out a global or something.
Rex Bingo, hesitation will be your downfall. CTY dodges the Echo Slam, will get Overgrowth. Still very healthy here, though. Tanky and jumping forward with Storm at his side at 3 Hero Lina stun. Trying to turn this, will pop the Aegis, but that's about it. Rushing in even deeper is 11, and now the counter Blink Echo! Kaka! Just dunking them and putting them straight into game 3. What a player. What a play. And what a game from EHOME. This is much more what we expected out of this team.
Yeah. Kaka just made all the right Rubik plays all game long.